These challenge questions combine what you've learned so far about pH and pOH with stoichiometry and solutions. So you're going to need to be bringing in skills from different areas that you've learned so far. In this question, we're told a scientist takes 0.0960 litres of a 0.0124 molar solution of a fictional strong base that has the formula GOH2 and dilutes it with water to a total volume of 0.751 litres at 25 degrees C. Our goal is to figure out the pH of the diluted solution. Our first step is going to be balancing our equation. So looking at the formulas in our equation, we've got GOH2 forming G2 plus and OH minus. So we can see here we're going to have one G2 plus because we've got one G in our compound. And we're going to need two OH minuses since we've got OH2 in our compound. So to balance this, we're going to have one G2 plus and two OH minus. Our next step is to find the concentration of the diluted GOH2 solution. So we are told in the question the initial volume, that will be V1, and initial molarity of our solution. And then we're told it's diluted, and we're given the final volume, that will be our V2. We're trying to find our final concentration, that will be our M2. So let's head to our reference sheet. Here's our dilution equation. M1 times V1 equals M2 times V2. So we've got our molarity at the beginning times our volume at the beginning is equal to our molarity at the end times our volume at the end. We're trying to find M2, the molarity at the end. So I'm going to divide both sides by V2 so that will cancel out on my right hand side, leaving me with M2 is equal to M1 times V1 over V2. So we can go ahead and put in our numbers from the question. Our initial molarity was 0.0124. Our initial volume was 0.0960. We're dividing that by our final volume, which was 0.751. That gets us a final molarity of 0.00159 molar. Let's go ahead and enter that into our answer box. Awesome, so step 1 is done. We found the concentration of GOH2 in our solution. Next step, what is the concentration of OH minus ions in the diluted solution? So we know the concentration of GOH2. We're trying to find the concentration of hydroxide ions. So based on our equation, for 1 mole of GOH2, we have 2 moles of OH minus. So we know that our concentration of hydroxide ions is going to be 2 times our concentration of GOH2. So this is going to be 2 times 0.00159, which gets us an answer of 0.00317 molar. Let's fill that in. Awesome. So we now know our concentration of OH minus ions. Next, to find our pOH. Let's head back to the reference sheet. In the acids and bases tab, here's our pOH equation. pOH is negative log of the concentration of hydroxide ions. pOH is negative log the concentration of hydroxide ions. So we can go ahead and put our concentration into that equation. It's negative log of the concentration we just found, 0.00317. If we put that into our calculator, we will get a pOH of 2.50. So we can go ahead and fill that in. Great, so we found the pOH of our diluted solution. Finally, we need to find the pH. So back to the reference sheet. Here's our equation that goes between pH and pOH at 25 degrees C, which it says we're at in the question. So pH plus pOH is 14. We want to find pH, so I'm going to subtract pOH on both sides so that it cancels on the left. That leaves us with pH is equal to 14 minus pOH. So we can put in our numbers. 14 minus pOH, which we just found was 2.50. That gives us a pH of 11.5. So we can go ahead and fill that in. So again, in these questions, you can see we're bringing different skills together. Here we use dilution from the solutions unit together with our pOH and pH knowledge. Sometimes you're going to also have to use stoichiometry, the periodic table, molar mass. This skill brings all those things together. So make sure you're feeling confident on those components before you get started.